Hey guys, Mr. Fire here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about turtles. Oh, look at how cute they are. Look at the little turtle. Just kidding, we're not actually going to be talking about real turtles. We are going to be talking about ComputerCraft turtles. So, first off, crafting recipes. I'm sure you guys all know this. The first 9 blocks on the left are how to craft a computer, which then you put in the middle and you surround with 7 iron with a chest, and that will give you a turtle. And then to get this mining turtle over here, you add a pickaxe in any of these slots. Okay? So now we've got our turtle. We can place it on the ground and front, back, and this is kind of the little chest pouch. So let's get into it. Now I want to show you around the ComputerCraft wiki. This website is a great resource for programming with your turtle. So if we look over here, we've got a tutorial list, a program list which has very few programs, and an API. And the API is very important, so we're going to cover that right now. So in ComputerCraft, turtles are only a small category of all the computers that you can use. So if you look at all these other things, we've got a disk, because they have disk drives, and they have math, so we can look at the math class later. But I'm going to go over to turtle and show you some of the turtle methods. So I'll get into this later, but these are all the methods that are kind of hard-coded for a turtle. So turtle.craft, turtle.forward, so these are all the method names and how you call them. And this is the description and what they do. So turtle.turnLeft will turn the turtle left. And so it's got a couple of movement commands. And then it's got some more advanced things that help it interact with the environment, like detecting if there are blocks in front of it and comparing those blocks to certain things that it has in its inventory, which is incredibly important, and we will get into that later. It also has drop and suck methods, and so the drop methods allow it to spit out items on the ground or even spit out items into a chest, and the suck methods allow it to pick up items either on the ground or in a chest next to it, and these are very important, and so we will definitely be getting into these later. But I just want to let you know that this is here and that you can use it, and I will be using it with you guys later when we program some things to show you where things come from. Okay, back to the turtle. When you right click on the turtle, it opens up the Turtle OS and you can start typing in commands. If you notice, the directory that I'm in has some stuff. That's because I was playing around a little bit earlier. But let's just start a program. So we can type edit, and then we can type a name of something, and then it will create a new program with the name that we create. So let's just call this test. Let's write some stuff in the test, and I would like to go over some loops and some function syntax with you. So let me jump back over to the wiki, and if you go to let's see, tutorial list, and then if you go over here, we've got loops and we have functions. So let's go into loops first. So there are 3 basic loops, and I only like to use 2 of them. The first one is the for loop, the second one is the while loop, and the last one is the repeat loop. And I haven't used the repeat loop much, so I will be covering that later. The first one for the for loop, this is the syntax for it. It's for, and then you need a variable name equals a starting quantity, comma, an end quantity, comma, an interval. And if you don't have this last comma interval, then it assumes that your interval is 1. And these two numbers are integers, which means they have to be whole numbers and they cannot have a decimal point. And then after that you have do. So for this variable being from start to end, do, and then you're going to insert your code here, and then you're going to add an end. So let's code that in. For I equals 1 to 5, do, and then add some code, and then end. So in here we can say print, and we're going to print I. And I don't know what that symbol is. Okay, so, and my P is capitalized. So if we run this loop, if you see down here it says control to access menu, we can say control and then hit enter to save, and then we can go over here and hit exit, and now if we type in the program name test, it's going to run it, and it's going to give us our output 1 through 5. The next loop is the while loop. Let's see down here, the while loop, and the syntax for this is while a condition is true, do, put some code here and then end it. So let's code that one out real quick. We can say edit test again, and now because we have so now these are all our things, and so now we have a test thing here. So now when we say edit test, it's already there, so it's just going to edit the current one. So here's our previous code from before. let's go all the way down to the bottom and let's say while a condition, and I'm going to say I is greater than 0, do print I, and end. And now let's go up here and set I. So I equals 5. So this loop is going to do the same thing. So it's going to say, whoops, not yet, it won't. I equals I minus 1. So what this is going to do is it's going to set I equal to 5, and then while I is greater than 0, it's going to print I. And each time it goes through, it's going to decrement I. So the first time it's going to go through, it's going to say 5 is greater than 0, print I, 4 is greater than 0, and so on and so forth. So control save, exit, and test. And now we have, oh, that's cool, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because we were going down. So that's how those two loop structures work. Alright guys, so we just did our for and while loop, and you're like, great, the turtle printed out something, not a big deal. But the turtles can do much more than that. They can move around and interact with the environment. So I've just written a program, and I accidentally named it Tess, and what this is going to do is it's got a loop, and it's going to make the turtle go forward, up, back, down 3 times. So if we just exit out of here and try and run it, it's not going to do anything because our turtle doesn't have any fuel. So if we go over here, there's something called, the programming language that the turtles are written in is Lua. And so if we type in Lua, it goes into this interactive Lua prompt. So we can actually call methods like right here. So the turtle dot forward that you saw in that last program, we could actually call it right here. And it says false, and that false is because it doesn't have any fuel. So if we say turtle dot get fuel level, it says 0. So here's what we can do. If we say put some coal in, turtles take coal or charcoal, and turtle dot refuel, it is going to eat all of the coal, which is very awesome because if we only had, so the refuel method has 2 different things. It has the method name, refuel, and then it also can accept a parameter of how many fuel or how many pieces of fuel it wants to put in. So if we enter this now, it's only going to take in 1 coal, and you can have that for as many as you want. Turtle, and we see if we type in get fuel level again, turtle dot get fuel level, turtle dot get fuel level. That we now have 6,240. That means the turtle can move 6,240 individual blocks. So now if we go over here and run our program, and to get out of this Lua script, you type exit. Now we can type in test, and the turtle will go in its circle. And 3. There we go. So what that one did is it told it to move around in a circle, and the for loop made it do it 3 times. So there's a cool little loop that we can do with that. Alright, next I wanted to talk about functions. So back over here in the tutorial list, we can go down and we can find function. And the syntax for the function is function, and then function name, parentheses, and then what the function does, and then end. So back into Minecraft, and we look at our turtle. So let's edit a new thing called test again. And so we can say function, and we're going to call this function name circle, parentheses, and then we're going to end it. And this is going to let us call the function from different places. So if we wanted to say turtle dot forward, turtle dot up, turtle dot back, and turtle dot down. Now, if you notice, this forward has 2 parentheses after it as well. So the forward is actually a function in itself, and so we're calling that by saying we're saying the turtle, the function method. I'm sorry, the forward function on the turtle is what is going to be called right here. So now we can go down to the end, and now we can call our method circle, and we call it by saying circle, if I could spell, parentheses. And one thing to note is the function has to be above where we call it. So if we went up here, whoops, page up, nope, not working. Alright, if we called it up here, it would not work. If we spelled it right, it would also not work. Nope. There we go. Okay, so if we call the function circle the first time, it's going to return an error because the function is not yet defined. If we call it down here, the function is going to be called, and then it's going to iterate through each of these things, and then when it ends, it's going to come back to where the function was called, which is right here. So let's write another thing, and so we're going to say, we're going to call circle, and then we're going to say move forward. Actually, let's do this in a loop. For I equals 1 to 3, do, and let's say, actually let's move this forward. Turtle.forward, and then we're going to end it. So what this is going to do is the function originally doesn't do anything. So if we were going down line by line, it's going to skip over the function and it's going to get to the for loop. So it's going to say turtle, do a circle, end, and then it's going to come forward and do another circle, and then come forward and do another circle. So let's save this program, exit, and we're going to say test, because that was, whoops, attempted to call nil on 1. What does that mean? Edit, test. Oh, that's right. Whoops. Not test. Edit, test. Edit, test. Okay, so it didn't like calling a function because, again, that function wasn't already defined. So we actually need to get rid of this first. There we go. All right, now it'll work. So, test. And you see it's going to go in its circle, and it's going to go forward, and it's going to continue into its circle. So what it did is it made a circle and then went in a loop and then went forward a little bit and then made another circle and then went forward a bit and made another circle. So it kind of made like a little roller coaster pattern. So that's how functions work. Alright, so turtles in robotics refer to this class of educational robots, and apparently they were designed originally in the 1940s. And so what they do is they have a perception of their environment, and they can interact with it and do different things. So this concept of a little robot that could interact with its environment was brought over into computer programming with turtle graphics. And turtle graphics is just kind of a method in computer programming that allows kind of like an object to record its location, its orientation, and have a few attributes of how it can interact with its environment. So in this case, in turtle graphics, the turtle draws these different shapes, and so the attributes that it needs to interact with its environment is a pen and attributes for the pen like a color and the width.